We'll be back from the break. You're still watching Smart Means Business. This is Friday, the 28th of April 2023. But of course, as we continue to give you more business updates, remember to grow your investments and be part of the investment journey in the country by investing in government bonds and other securities. STAR292# is the USSD code that you need to use to be part of the Zabo platform. Zabo is powered by Alltech East Africa, and it does remind you to do something new. Grow your investments with the Zabo platform and see how best you can grow and become more of yourself. And of course, remember, with the Zabo platform, you can kickstart off your investment with just a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and closing time is 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. But also do note that these markets are fully closed during the weekends and also on public holidays. Zabo, my money, my future. Alltech East Africa, do something new. Well, with something new can you do today is by growing your investments with the Zabo platform. All right, now away from that, let's turn our eyes to our business tip of the morning. And while our business tip says 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did. So do than the ones you did. So throw off the ball lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trend winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. So the tip is actually saying plan for tomorrow, but don't forget to live today, because however much you're planning for tomorrow, you will be much more disappointed in the things that you didn't do than the things that you actually did, because the ones you did will be memories, and the ones you actually didn't do but would have done would be regrets. That is it for our business tip this morning. And let's have our business quote as we kick start off your Friday. Christopher Morley says, there is only one success: to be able to spend your life in your own way. That is according to Christopher Morley, that there is only one success: to be able to spend your life in your own way. That is when you will definitely feel you are successful as an individual. Well, live your life your own way. Drive your business your own way. Do not look into what other people have to say. Now, yesterday, women members of parliament were on a demonstration. They had placards, what you could say, manila papers, and of course they were demonstrating through a march from Parliament to the office of the Ministry of Internal Affairs in regards to police brutality. But however, it didn't seem to be better. It didn't get even any better for them, as the brutality was this time around poised on these female members of parliament. Now, social media was awash by this particular news, and this is what really happened and what transpired with the Ugandans on Twitter and what they had to say in regards to this kind of mishandling of the honorable members of parliament. And we start off with Bobby Wine, and His Excellency Bobby Wine says, we strongly condemn the unjustified violence and indignity that Ugandan security agencies have meted out on women members of parliament today morning as they peacefully protested against being harassed by police and the military when doing their work. It is this brutality that continues to stain our conscience as a country. If even members of parliament have no freedom of speech and assembly, who does? And of course, That is according to what Bobby Wine had to say in regards to the same matter. Now, Kanyamozi district at Patrick Kanyamozi says, no, she's not a terrorist. This member of parliament set out to work with her colleagues to the Ministry of Internal Affairs in a peaceful protest against the brutality of forces. Now, besides that, Matthias Mpuga says the police have rounded up female members of parliament outside Parliament's main gate as they march towards the Ministry of Internal Affairs in protest against the brutality of security agencies. Thomas Tayewa at Thomas_Tayewa, the deputy Speaker to Parliament, says this evening I was constrained to continue chairing the House when the police is busy brutalizing members of Parliament and other Ugandans. Our colleagues have been unconditionally released, and I thank the Right Honourable Speaker Anita Among for the timely intervention. When you see the videos from the arrests, they look ugly. There shouldn't be any sugarcoating on this matter, and these people are not working for government. These are the people who are making this government and our country get hated. They are saboteurs. Government must investigate them. The Prime Minister must bring a statement on Tuesday explaining the issue of stopping Women's Day celebrations, the police brutality, and the action taken on the perpetrators. Benji at _Benji256 says this is a member of Parliament. At Isano Francis, Francis is _Isano, with these particular images saying a section of female opposition members of Parliament in the 11th Parliament have been arrested as they attempted to march from Parliament to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Uganda, as they attempted to deliver a petition against the police's continued blocking of their activities. John Baptist Nabeshe at J. Nabeshe says, what is the motive for such high-handed action against female members of Parliament Yugi, who are not in any way engaging in violence, but marching peacefully? If the motive is to strike fear in the hearts of the ordinary citizens by dehumanizing us as their leaders, it's a fallacy. Now, the Daily Monitor says, next time you want to arrest my members of Parliament, you have to inform me in advance. I can deliver them to you. However, what the female MPs were protesting is legitimate. Why should you arrest someone for celebrating belated Women's Day? These MPs are mothers. It's their right to celebrate Women's Day. It doesn't matter whether they are in position of the ruling government. Speaker Anita Among tells that police UG at the Kampala CPS, where 11 opposition members of Parliament had been detained following their arrest in the morning for protesting against police and sister agencies which have been brutally dispersing their activities. All right, now away from that, Andrew joins me this morning and we are heading to our second business update this very morning here on Smart Means Business, big on what we are yet to look out for today, Friday. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Joram. How are you doing?
I'm well. We're trying, and yeah,
of course, everywhere. It's the talk of the world, man. Trying to make sure that we catch up with the current global trends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now heading into our business update number 2. You know, there is this aspect they call the business process outsourcing. And yesterday we saw some sort of a background regarding how Uganda is preparing itself to be that is a stable business business process outsourcing destinations. And this is quite a very prominent aspect, most especially for the people that are delving into the ICT sector, but not necessarily, it may not entirely be IT, but also other related activities. But of course, it all stands around, rotating around IT to a bigger percentage. Now, when that really was out, we had to go really further and try to examine that is the outstanding business process outsourcing destinations in Africa. Because now this brings us to a point of examining our country as Uganda. How do we stand against other sub-Saharan nations when it comes to being a business process outsourcing? And maybe for a viewer out there, when I talk about business process outsourcing, it's the aspect, is like, for example, I can say if a company, for example, you're a banking institute, you operate probably in diaspora, you're a European banking company, and one of your services that you provide is probably call centers. I mean, there are these people that call into your bank and they are trying to inquire aspects on, you know, my transaction happened this way, this happened, and this, you know, like how you call customer care related services. Now, in most cases, what these entities do, what these corporations do, they do what they call outsourcing in case they can, and they just try to focus on what they do best. If it's banking, they will get to focus on the banking, and they outsource another company to help. Probably it could be even an individual, a business process outsourcing firm, which can enable them identify potential people that can actually do the call servicing, you know, the call centers, so that they focus on the core work. That's the banking they do. So now Uganda stands a chance to be one of those top destinations, and lately it's on demand. And away from that, we get to also realize that NITA is doing whatever it takes to ensure that as Uganda is being recognized as a possible business process outsourcing destination, there should be a favorable environment that is created to enable this to happen. Because in most cases, since you're working, it's more like online related, working online. For example, there are some companies that outsource Ugandans to make softwares for them, then they take them back for further review. But you know, for all that to happen, you need to, as a nation, you need to have the right structure. And when I talk about structure here, I'm meaning infrastructure. If you have the right infrastructure, remember you need to, now this could include stable laptops, you know, computers, because they need to handle such heavy tasks.
Sure.
You need internet that is really at high speed, because you need real-time communications just in case something doesn't go right, you know, and all that. So now this is a source of employment. You know, you can work for a company in Europe, you are in Uganda actually here, and you are earning some good money, because they come to realize that when it comes to our can I say, salary deals, we're a little bit affordable as compared to, you know, other nations. Now, this morning, we want to take a look at what are those outstanding business process outsourcing destinations in Africa, and where does Uganda fall? Of course, among the top countries here, the top 7, let me say, Uganda is nowhere to be seen regarding that. It's not, you know,
there. We've been doing all these top 10 before we even go into this list. You get to realize we've actually been doing top 10 economies to look out for. 2023, yes. We've looked at countries in sub-Saharan Africa. We've looked at countries in sub-Saharan Africa with high net worth individuals still.
Exactly. Very true. Very true.
I think it is still a huge challenge.
It's a huge challenge, and actually this poses that the body that is in charge of this, NITA, in collaboration with the Ministry of ICT, I think this should be, such statistics shouldn't be something to be taken for granted. It should mean something. Because if you say that we are into the league to be a possible nation that somebody can rely on to outsource, then we need to be challenged, because now some of these people, when they are selecting, they are going to come to these lists, these statistics. They make further review and follow-ups, actually, stable follow-ups, to see whether the country we are trusting with outsourcing our work, are they competent enough to make it work out. Now, let's get into our list, Joram.
Okay.
Now, on our list, coming as the first country is Ethiopia. Ethiopia comes number one amongst the countries that are a possible destination of business outsourcing. Of course, we see that with an annual growth rate of 7.7%, Ethiopia has quickly become a business process outsourcing hotspot technology and has driven the country's economic and social transformation. So it is not surprising that Ethiopia has positioned itself as the leader in technology, development and support at the same time. And something which was very interesting here, we see that one of the continent's most prominent names is Addis Ababa Best ED Tech and Job Placement Company, that is known as Gebea, which trains its employees to become top software engineers in such diverse specialties as, for example, in artificial intelligence. There is blockchain, financial technology, Internet of Things. You know, by the way, Internet of Things is a big deal lately. When you have all your gadgets connected, it's where we're heading. We see there is media production, telecom, and gaming since its inception in 2016. Now, Gebea has expanded beyond its Addis Ababa headquarters. Now, the company has recently closed a $2 million seed round of investment. You see, Joram? These are one of the ways. The reason is why sometimes we battle to get seed funds. I mean, startups in Uganda having this whole, a rough atmosphere when it comes to funds. You see, one of the ways we can prove our competence and ease in obtaining this is when we position ourselves as potential destination for business process outsourcing. That if we deliver the work when it's perfectly put there, it's going to inspire that firm, probably, or any other development partner for that firm, to try to check into that country. For example, Ethiopia. I've outsourced a company in Ethiopia, and it has done work very good. I'm going to be inspired to collaborate with other development partners to see how best can we support these people to produce better. I mean, to get money for further investment, to make their startups much more better, because they have already demonstrated by this chance I've given them to put out there. And reason being, our advantage we have in Africa is negotiations, salary negotiations. And companies are willing to do whatever it takes to invest in Africa, to have a stable labor force, to be outsourced for tasks, then take it back, because it's favorable. And for us, somebody will tell you that I'm going to give you $1,000 a week, and that's going to be a big deal, Joram, for you. You're going to be like, hey, that's very good. But to them, there is somebody who's earning $50,000, because $1,000 a week, an entire month, how much is that? That's $5,000, $5,000. That's your salary, and it's okay. Yet,
no, that's close to $4,000 if 4 weeks.
4 weeks
in a month. So you could be making some good money if you are to to even change that money to Ugandan shillings.
But that's not an amount of money they're going to pay to a developer in the United States. They're going to demand a higher wage bill.
Yes.
Probably.
So we are more affordable.
We are more affordable.
Exactly.
And based on our currency strengths, it favors us still. That despite the fact that we may not get what the citizens are getting, it's still okay. You can have a life.
Very true.
On that. Yes. Right. Now, number 2, Nigeria. Nigeria. Over 200 million people live in Nigeria, of course, making it Africa's most populous country and home to large and dynamic workforce, with hundreds of thousands of English-speaking university graduates joining the labor pool each year. Now, Nigeria is a natural destination for outsourcing, of course, business related IT development needs, actually. Now, and Nigeria's government is actively seeking to draw outsourcing clients to the country. Now, the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy has drafted a national outsourcing strategy, and industry organizations such as the Association of Outsourcing Practitioners of Nigeria, and this can help you find the best partner for your business. now we have the Business Process Outsourcing Association in Uganda. I don't know how far they have gone to make sure that there is a favorable, like our citizens, our young populated skilled youth get a chance to have these opportunities, because it's absolutely the work. The Business Process Outsourcing Association, in collaboration with the ministry in charge of IT, and this is what Nigeria is doing, and it's coming to that number 3. Then number 4 is Kenya, our neighbors here. Number 3 is South Africa. Yes, South Africa, one of the countries that are really a potential business process outsourcing destination. And of course, I guess South Africa has always been a hub when it comes to IT-related solutions, and it's not a surprise that is happening. Well, for the sake of time, let's get into number 4. That is Kenya. Kenya comes number 4 amongst the countries that are potential business process outsourcing. That is, we see that Kenya is a BPO trailblazer on the continent, and its numerous outsourcing companies cover multiple sectors and draw on Kenya's educated workforce and growing infrastructure. That is to offer high quality services at a competitive cost. I see Kenya is doing really well. Amongst that, and Kenya's diverse BPO landscape includes corporate staffing services, and of course the company helps clients meet their local human resource needs by managing administrative and operational tasks such as issuing contracts, processing payments, advising on labor laws, and providing a fiscal workstation for outsourced staff. Yeah, so you see all those various tasks offered there. Now, number 5 amongst the countries that are a potential source for business process outsourcing comes Ghana. Yes, Ghana, West Africa. Very strong country. Ghana is West Africa's top BPO outsourcing destination, and the country is particularly attractive to companies looking to outsource their technology development and support tasks to its business-friendly regulatory and tax environment, government support for the industry, favorable time zone, educated and English-speaking workforce, and robust IT infrastructure. You realize that all these countries, the common aspect is ICT infrastructure being favorable. And even English-speaking, language, I think, is quite very key.
Because I see Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa,
Kenya,
English-speaking countries. And I think it takes us back to the other app where they actually say the reason as to why these countries are growing faster than Anglo-Africa, where the French-speaking English is at least has actually translated more, or it has actually influenced
very true,
globally than it is for French.
Okay, yeah, very true, absolutely, very true. Now, number 6, as we wind this up, Mauritius comes number 6 amongst those countries that are a potential BPO destination. And Mauritius, a small island of Africa's southeast coast, is widely considered the continent's most political and economically stable country. Now, the country's highly developed infrastructure, coupled with its high number of educated native English and French speakers and business-friendly tax regime, make Mauritius an ideal outsourcing destination. Then finally, on the list comes the island of Madagascar. Yes, Madagascar has the fastest internet in Africa. And of course, a large francophone population and competitive cost of labor, which has led to the establishment of many BPO companies over the past decade. I guess, Joram, Madagascar in there for us, summing up the list amongst the top countries that can be outsourced.
And of course, when you look at that, when you never know when you're going to be coming up in such lists, hopefully then we shall be able to give you details regarding that as well. But after the break, we shall be returning with sports business and the entertainment business. Stick around with us. Good morning.